Hi Fraser, I don't know if you're on, but I'm logged in. I'm ready to roll. Oh, blimey.
When she's up there upstairs, through the door.
Sorry, say again, I'm going upstairs, I'm going to venture place. And
about 3 or 4 different places distributed.
right.
Yeah, ready? Yeah. Go on then. Say that. Good afternoon. Everything fine? Welcome to Venture Fest East Midlands. Basically what's happening at the moment is, as usual, we're broadcasting it across the web, we're tweeting about it, and this has been broadcast in the exhibition area itself, where there's about 1,100 people. So basically we'll just do effectively a one-to-one with a few people that's here, and then move forward that way, if that's okay with you.
Yep, great.
We've got really good sound quality, thank you. Basically, quickly introducing yourself and launching your presentation.
Right, so I'm kicking off, am I, Paul?
Yes, please. This time we're just doing a presentation from your end. We're not doing a presentation on the East Midlands. We thought it would be better just to condense it and keep it like this.
Yeah, that's fine. Sorry, the connection cut through there, so I can't hear you, but I always say children, animals, and I think I'd like to add webinars to the list. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Thank you for joining me. And first of all, I'd like to say thank you very much to Paul and the incredible team he's got there. It's a pleasure to be invited back almost a year to the day to do another presentation on Poland. I'm going to assume you can hear me fine throughout the presentation. If not, Paul, please ring your bell. And I'm joined today by Marta, our communications ninja. And Marta's here to make sure I don't say anything controversial or too exciting. In the next 15 minutes or so, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you about a country that I'm extremely passionate about. So we're just going to share screens, which is always a dangerous moment in a presentation. My name is Patrick Nay, and I'm the director of the British-Polish Chamber of Commerce Trade Team, which is a title so long that we've had to shorten it to BPP Trade. What I'm going to do is talk about Poland, And I'll offer a few generalizations around the Polish business culture, which I hope will give exporters an understanding of the size of the opportunity in this market, the potential export strategy they want to take, and for them to understand how they might want to carry out their business discussions with opposite numbers, existing or future companies. I'll try and talk for 15 minutes, and I'm really looking forward to hearing your questions as well. My personal background, Paddy and Patrick is not a Polish name. I'm originally from the UK, Ipswich born and bred, and about 8 or 9 years ago I met a Polish girl and ended up purely by chance moving out to Poland almost 6 years ago. And I've been working in UK trade and investment, government's trade and investment promotion for a number of years. And 3 years ago I moved to the British-Polish Chamber of Commerce. We are one of the world's best export consultancy agencies out there. This year we'll have helped 700 exporters. So we're a big organisation, 20 employees, and we help companies from all across the UK. So I'm hoping you're interested in Poland already. And if I was doing this in an actual meeting, I'd ask you all to put up your hands if you had a Polish person working in your company. It's very rare that no businesses have no Polish people working in their company, and they are your best export manager. They'll understand your buyer and end user behaviour, the language that they use, the buying decision process they go on better than I will, and then also know your company as well. So if you have a poll in your business, Paddy's top tip today is utilise their strengths and turn them into your best export manager. So Poland, well, the thing that I think is really important for a small company and a company operating on a small budget is to understand this is a close market. You can see geographically it's really close to the UK. It's serviced by any number of airports with direct flights, and you can get in and out within 24 hours and at low cost as well. So this is a great location for a SME on a budget. And if you're an MD of a business and you're trying to do production and you've got HR and admin and taxes, VAT, and exports the last thing on your list to do, and obviously that's an incredibly important element. We understand that's why we think that Poland's a great untapped market. It also happens to be a big economy. It's no China, it's no Brazil, it's no Russia, and it's certainly no India, but it is nonetheless the European Union's 6th largest economy. And British companies, you know, we export a lot to the EU. I keep reading in the newspaper, it's about half of our exports. And Poland certainly isn't represented there. We export about £5.5 billion worth of goods and services to Poland. So often we'll say to companies, if you're selling to Germany, France, Italy, Spain, you really, really should be selling to Poland. If you have an existing sales relationship with a distributor, for example, in Germany, just check with your German distributor, have they got a sales relationship with Poland? I bet you they have, because the Polish economy is really closely linked to the German economy.
Patrick.
Yes,
Patrick?
sorry.
Yeah, if you meant to be scrolling through your PowerPoint right now, it's not going anywhere.
Oh, okay. I do apologise.
There you are. Well done.
Thanks for letting me know. That's always useful. I don't know how to fix this, but I'll try again.
Just try the screen share again and click entire screen, which is the first option. And then full screen your presentation.
Hopefully you're seeing the second slide of my presentation.
Yes.
Great. That's very upsetting because I've spent a long time making these aeroplanes fly to the UK and Poland for you not to see them. So I've talked about close by, cheap to fly. Big population, very resilient consumer spending, a large consumer market, growth driven by a lot of consumer spending. 8th largest economy in the European Union, is a big market in terms of GDP, almost as large as Sweden. When you break that down per capita per person though, average income, average salary, GDP per capita, much lower than the Western European equivalent. Now, what does this mean? Well, when we help British exporters, companies that are trying to come in with a Western European pricing strategy or the margins that they'd expect to get in Western Europe frequently find that they're pricing themselves out the market in Poland. The number one question a distributor will ask will be, what's the price? And this is an extremely price-sensitive market, both on a B2B level and a B2C level as well. It doesn't mean that there aren't plenty of rich people. If you're a retail company that's interested in selling to cosmopolitan, affluent, young professional target market, it doesn't mean there aren't a lot of them, but it's also worth understanding that this is a country that has gone through an extraordinarily large amount of change in a very short space of time after the fall of communism. So it's a rapidly dynamic and emerging economy, but it certainly doesn't compare to many Western European countries. You can see that in my next slide. Hopefully you're seeing this. Fraser, feel free to jump in. These are gross monthly salaries in the different regions across Poland. And you can see that there's some real differences here between what we expect to see in the UK. If you go to a city like Warsaw, which is the bright red county right in the middle to the right, your average salary monthly or annually in Warsaw would be pretty much on par with a typical British town.
Patrick?
Yes.
Sorry, the presentation stuck again. Do you want to just go through it without full screening it? That seems to be the problem.
Okay.
So if you just hit the arrow keys like that. No, put screen share back up, but just go through with the arrow keys with the presentation in normal screen.
Everybody needs a Fraser. Thank you very much, Fraser.
Don't thank me.
I'll just quickly do that.
There you go. Now you have to run through like that. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Let's keep going then in interest of time. I've talked about a rapidly expanding economy. You can see that reflected by GDP growth. If you take 2003 as base, Poland's economy is growing extremely quickly. It was the only European Union economy not to go into recession in 2008. The fundamentals of the economy are extremely strong. It's got good consumer spending. It's a major manufacturing economy, low level of bank indebtedness. This is an economy going places, and you can really see that when you travel to this country. It's a country changing before our very eyes, starting from a low base. Why is that? Well, the European Union is spending taxpayers' money from Western Europe to make sure that Eastern Europe catches up. And that means that Poland is the largest recipient of billions of euros of EU structural funding in the next 4 years or so. And you can see here, these are the key categories in which Poland is receiving spend and funding. Very often when you travel into Poland, you'll be flying into a new airport, traveling on a new road, driving past a new football stadium, and probably staying in a new hotel as well, talking to a business which probably has benefited from skills, R&D, or innovation support from the EU. This is pump priming the Polish economy and really is making a difference to this country. So that's an important driver in terms of growth. But I think this statistic, or this graph here, does also show you a story about this economy. Poland is a major manufacturer. It's tripled its export of goods in the course of less than 10 years. Oh, wouldn't we want to do something like that? I know David Cameron would love it if we could do something like that. This is a huge manufacturing economy. It is a low-cost economy, but it's also one that does high-quality goods as well. Mostly white goods, machinery, manufacturing, automotive. Poland's also the world's largest producer of apples. Makes fantastic blueberries, raspberries. I highly recommend it. You may be eating them this summer when you go into Tesco's or Sainsbury's. This is a huge manufacturing economy, which means that there is a lot of demand for UK value-added technology. There are less interest, I think, to be fair, in services companies. It's a tough market to crack if you're a services company. But if, for example, you are doing lean manufacturing, there's only about 35 serious companies that are doing lean manufacturing, operational manufacturing efficiencies in this market, but an enormous number of Polish mid-sized businesses that need that support. So the story is always unique to you and your company. I've got 5 minutes left. I've got Marta tapping. I think are incredibly important. We've helped well over 1,000 exporters in the course of the last 3 years, and we know that these are the factors which make the difference between failure and success. So I hope if you're an exporter listening to today's presentation, all of these points that I've listed here will feel like they're describing you. I really hope so, because if that is the case, you are far more likely to be successful in exporting, not just to Poland, but globally. Have a budget. It's really important that you've got that budget agreed for the rest of the year, that it's going to be safe and protected, and that your boss isn't going to come raiding it later on. Getting buy-in from the boss, absolutely crucial, making sure that your boss or your board, your CFO, your MD support you to come into this market. Very, very crucial. And sometimes we will get the feedback that, I'd love to really see the opportunity, but my MD doesn't believe it. It's better to build that in from day one. Crucial to visit. Always start and raise their eyes when I say this, but many businesses, British businesses, think, well, I'll travel once and then hopefully never have to come back again because I've got loads of other stuff to do. In your first 12 months of coming into Poland, we recommend you visit at least 3 times. Like any market, it's about personal relationships. Having flexibility, understanding you may need to drop your margins initially in order to get a proof of concept in if you're a services company, or understanding that you've got to drop your margins because this is a really price-conscious retail market where consumers are extremely canny about making sure they get great value is crucial. And then, of course, being in it for the long term. Generally we say don't expect to see return on investment in year 1, maybe year 2 or year 3. Be prepared to help and get engaged by the help of others. And most importantly, understanding that your distributor, your agent, your partner, your wholesaler, or your office are capable of selling to the end user. If I had £1 for every time we've had a company do the hard work of finding a distributor, who then let them down by failing to have a well thought out promotional campaign backed by the company, I'd be doing this presentation from the Bahamas rather than this small office. I'll just finish with a few points around culture. This is what Polish people think about the British. They tend to think we're a bit blunter sometimes and more to the point. They definitely think we use humour more often than they do. They find gentlemen's handshake-style agreements to be surprising, refreshing, and a little uncomfortable at times. They find us to be a lot less formal than them in first meetings. Don't waste their words, probably. I've already said that, so I'm wasting my words. Very often we get the feedback when we travel across the country, British companies perceived as being great, but expensive. And there is very much a natural tendency to look for purchasing and sourcing from Germany, also perceived as a high quality market, because they are just perceived as the best place to go to get manufacturing ideas and sourcing. So those are the people we're competing with. But I think we're starting from a good base because we do have a reputation for longevity, honesty, integrity, high quality. Poles are interesting people. The longer I live here, the more I think that maybe I don't quite understand them. I've written these generalizations around Polish culture, and if you're a Polish person listening, I do apologise. If you're a British company listening, you might think this doesn't sound like someone I've met. I put these sentences by Polish entrepreneurs 2 months ago, and they agreed with every single one of them. So this is coming from the mouths of others, not from myself. There does tend to be a win-lose style culture in business dealings in this market. Win-win is not automatically a way that a business will approach their negotiations. Poles do tend to complain. They certainly would give Britain a run on their money for the Olympics of complaining. Some Polish business people may take you being friendly up front as a sign of untrustworthiness. They may certainly be uncomfortable. In general, trust is a major issue in Poland. I think it's worth remembering this is a country in which, up until relatively recently, you didn't know who was informing on you and who wasn't, and you didn't conduct public life or business life in any level of trust whatsoever with public organisations. So this is a country with a trust issue, I think. Poles tend to find British motivational speakers, Larry, to be very unimpressive. You only have to ask my team what they think of my Monday morning pep talks to believe that. Conversely, Polish people think that their lives are better than ever. 18% of Poles think this is the best time Poland's ever had in 400 years of war, destruction, and the troubles it's had. That really is true. On the other hand, the prevailing attitude is that Poland is in ruins. So when I see those lasting points, I'm often reminded of everyone British that talks about the UK. So we have some similarities there. Life's never been better, but the country's going to the dogs. I'll just finish with very quickly Polish entrepreneurs, which tell me something about Polish people, their relationship with British exporters. Agnieszka, a friend of mine, runs a very exciting startup, deaf and dumb people. And she's been surprised by the way that a British company will take time to understand her as a person before they get down to talking business. When you talk to a Polish distributor for the first time, it almost certainly comes to that question of price within the first half an hour. Natalia, great Polish entrepreneur in the UK, highly recommend her business, translate.co.uk. She says Poles can be more direct. And that British people can have a problem sometimes with handling that directness. I always think in emails, Polish entrepreneurs and distributors tend to be a lot blunter and frankly come across as ruder in their negotiations and discussions with British companies. So disregard that. I think it's a business culture thing here. And then finally, Bartek Kowalczyk, probably Poland's best, most well-networked entrepreneur in the UK, says that Polish businesses sometimes find that regular contact and good relationship building are something that's needed and potentially something that's weak as well. So there definitely are some things to consider when you come in the market. That's why we're here. I've got 20 people. They're bright, they're breezy, they're brainy, they're full of beans, and we help upwards of 100 companies a year with 3 simple questions. Is there an opportunity for me? Find me someone who's going to help my business. And can you help me sell my end user? Those are the 3 questions we ask, and we're having a good time with it. Our top 5 customers this year predict sales of over 50 million over the course of the next 5 years as a result of our help. So we're having some real impact in helping companies come into market. In food, we brought in 250 SKUs in the course of the last 2 years, which is more than has entered the market in the last 20. So do come and drop me an email, ask me a question in today's session, or hit me up on Twitter. I'd be pleased to hear from you. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you very much. That was a really good overview of Poland again. Can you hear us?
Yes, yes.
Excellent. You can close your PowerPoint down now if you want.
Oh, but don't you want to look at my face, Paul?
I would like to see it in real time. Excellent, we've lost you now.
Hang on a second.
Yes.
Second icon there on the left.
That's excellent. Poland seems to be the exception to the European Union in terms of the fact that it's had sustained growth for the last more than 2 decades. But do you see Poland as a competitor to the East Midlands or someone where the companies can work together?
I always say to a question like that, Paul, it depends on you as a business. You know, this is a low-cost manufacturing market, so if you're looking at valves, sockets, you know, that kind of thing, a Polish company could well be your competitor. It depends where you are in your business life cycle. Are you looking to source from? We get a lot of inquiries at the moment from East Midlands, West Midlands manufacturers saying, I'm a little bit tired with my lead times from India and I'd like to talk to someone who can deliver high quality but at shorter lead times. So, you know, I'm wary of giving a general answer to that question because I think the story will depend on the business itself.
Oh, okay, taking that on board, where do you think that in the next year or so that the immediate sectors that we should be looking at from the East Midlands perspective?
Oh dear, I'm going to be even more difficult this time. 5 years ago when I was talking to companies about Poland, you know, I'd say energy is an opportunity, and it's true, billions of pounds worth of investment, major infrastructure issues, you know, history of chronic underinvestment over decades, EU rules pushing change and investment, both at a local government and government level. The big picture there is massive, but it depends what sector you're in. So, you know, if you're in wind turbines, the new government is very much anti-wind, and in fact, the reason the wind is not something Polish. If you're in gas pipeline, Poland's investing over 1,000 kilometers in gas pipeline, but it depends what diameter you produce. again, the story is always so unique to you as a company. But if I had to give that high-level figure, you know, I mean, you can more or less see in the areas where the EU is investing, there's a lot of change. Energy, infrastructure, services, very broad topic. Again, depends on you as a company and your investment, your market strategy. Healthcare and life sciences, absolutely enormous here. And retail.
Okay. So what about the tourism sector? Do you think there's a potential for tourism to move forward?
That would be British companies looking to attract tourists from Poland.
Oh,
No, the other way around. People actually going to Poland to look at what you've got. No idea how beautiful your country is.
Listen, Poland is the best country in the world. And I really should get a commission from the Polish tourist agency the way I go on about. It's an incredibly cheap country to travel to. If you're looking for a city break, it's got all of the attractions of the Czech Republic, all of the history of so many European capitals, but it is literally cheap as chips. Poland's got the cheapest hotel costs of the entire Europe. You can stay at the Sheraton here in Warsaw for €90. And there aren't many capital cities with like that. It's got beautiful mountains into the south. It's got primeval forests into the north. It's got Europe's only bison herd. Well, bison burger, delicious by the way. It's got beautiful coastline down by the Baltic. It's got historic cities, Krakow, the new Prague. It's got an incredible history, fascinating if you're into the Second World War. There's a lot of history and there. If you can add 2 days to travel around the country as part of your business trip, you definitely will be coming back to Poland. And a lot of companies we have come over say, "Oh, I had no idea. I thought Poland, grey, communism, miserable, you know, poor." It can be all of those things, but it is also beautiful, extraordinarily enriching, and exciting, and well worth a visit for sure.
You need to market that though, Paddy. You need to market your beautiful country because we don't hear about the mountains and the views and the walking. So you should do that. You.
Yeah, well, I did the other day. You can check my blog out. You can go on Twitter and I got a link just the other day. You know, I'm really interested in history. Poland's got such a fascinating history and culture. And the one thing I always add, bearing in mind, I now know what export is like. Beer is very cheap here, and it's extremely good quality.
Thank you.
Look, given the fact that we've got direct flights between the Midlands and Poland, what do you think are the major exhibitions or trade events that people should be looking at to attend?
Great question. Polish companies really like doing trade shows and trade fairs. It is undeniably the best location to meet lots of people. I always advise companies to make sure they've done a bit of legwork and invested time in contacting companies directly to meet up. The biggest trade destination for trade fairs in Poland is in Poznan. And I forget what the umbrella organisation is called. I think it's called Targi Poznan, P-A-R-G-I, Poznan. But if you look up a Poznan trade show, that will almost certainly be relocated to where probably the biggest trade show in your sector is being done this year. They've got an enormous hangar, absolutely ginormous, and that's where it'll be. So I can't remember if Doncaster, if East Midlands flies into Poznan, but they probably do.
Excellent. I mean, this is just the first step again in trying to deepen the relationship between Poland and the East Midlands. And obviously, if you want to come and see a Premiership winning team, then you're obviously welcome to come and visit Leicester in the next few months.
I'll just let my Ipswich Town mug just waft briefly in and out of the show.
But see, and I think obviously thank you very much again for your participation. We look forward to seeing you both in the East Midlands. And hopefully when we do another one of these global trade exchange or fairs, we'd like to invite you to participate again. But thank you very much indeed. See you soon.
Thank you very much. Do drop us a line if you want to have a chat. We're happy to talk to you about the opportunity for the business. And once again, thanks very much to Paul and all the team. You really are absolutely ace at doing this. So well done.
Thank you
very much.
Bye.
You just missed it. It was perfect.
Oh.
I invited him over. He said he'd come over as well.
Was that as well as that?
We had half an hour.
So for the next one. Yeah,
Germany's in 24 minutes.
I'll go get some. That was great. I like that. Listen to you with passion.
Yes, I heard what you want to process.
What you've just finished?
Just finished. I wrote like